We are back to break down all the ways The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 12 compared to the comics. From the Battle of Kingtop to Negan's head-splitting decision, I see what you did there, we have it all. Like a picture of Alpha's decapitated head on Twitter, consider this your spoiler warning. I'm Woody Tondorf, and this is a batshit crazy episode of Panel to Screen. Let's begin with the Battle of Hilltop. After getting sandwiched between the Horde and their burning community, Daryl and the gang fight back as much as they can until they're forced to retreat. And that's pretty much it. Alpha and the Whisperers win. They take Hilltop and they presumably resume basket weaving. In the comics, the Battle of Hilltop is quite different. Like we said last episode, the Alpha beheading had already happened, so this battle was all about Beta getting his revenge. Carl and Sophia, who are also still around, run into the main house to save people like a firefighter procedural from NBC.
This is insane. Let's go!
Everyone manages to escape except Carl, who almost dies but gets saved by Aaron and later Dante. Outside, Lydia slaughters a shit ton of her former peeps, and they actually win the Battle of Hilltop and force the Whisperers to retreat. Basket weaving still on. Now on to the big scene. Negan finally got some head. Oh no, I didn't. Yes, I did. In the show, Negan convinces Alpha he's tied Lydia up in a cabin, allowing Alpha to free her. Oh boy. Before they can kill her, Negan opens up about his dead wife Lucille and then pokes holes in the Whisperer Creed, calling it bullshit.
You think that it makes you strong to say that emotions aren't real? That is bullshit.
Still, Alpha says they're animals and it's Lydia's destiny to die. Unluckily for her, Negan tied Lydia up in a decoy cabin and led Alpha to an empty one. Sidebar, you can find this on Airbnb for about $60 a month. Once she figures it out, Negan cuts her throat, holds her as she dies, and eventually cuts her head off and gives it to Carol!
Took you long enough.
Are you fucking... Oh boy! In the comics, Negan also decapitates Alpha, but the circumstances are very different. In fact, Negan had just gone through initiation and the Battle of Hilltop was still days away. In issue 156, Negan finds two Whisperers trying to rape one of the women. He tries to intervene, but Beta knocks him down and tells him to let the men live their lives. Fucking yikes! Alpha tries calming Negan down later, but like the show, Negan calls her way of life bullshit, bringing up his dead wife Lucille to show it's impossible to not feel anything. Alpha actually considers what he says and tells him maybe he does belong, but it doesn't matter because it looks like they're gonna smooch, but then Negan cuts her throat, decapitates her, and holds her head in victory. And since Carol is dead in the comics, it's Rick who Negan brings Alpha's head to, kind of like when a cat brings you a dead mouse. Oh, that cat's ready for a little freaky deaky. Oh yeah, and there's this little bit where like Gamma gets completely eviscerated by Beta, and that's kind of like when Gabriel got completely eviscerated by Beta in like the beginning of the Whisperer War. It's a tenuous connection, but I wanted to put it in because I just wanted to hang out longer. How are you guys? Before we wrap up, we have some stray arrows from the comics. First, you may have noticed that Negan called Beta
Frowning with two knives.
That's actually straight out of issue number 154 when they first met. Oh, Angela Kang, you did that just for me, didn't you? Second, the scene where Carol nearly gave herself up to a walker is a huge homage to issues 41 and 42 when she actually gave herself up to a walker back in the prison. We hardly knew you, Comic Carol. Well, do you think anybody will notice that I sent this from home? I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, and send. And that wraps up all the comic comparisons for The Walking Dead episode 1012. As always, some of the story did not happen in the comics, like Magna returning, Alpha winning the battle, Negan wearing Whisperer skin, Alden and Kelly's baby adventure, anything involving Gamma, the cabin switcheroo, and Carol orchestrating the whole damn thing. Also, at this point in the comics, Ezekiel, Carol, Rosita, Father Gabriel, and Judith were dead. Are you happy now? While Daryl, RJ, Dog, Mary, Sweet Jerry, Nabila, and their kids, Alden and Baby Coco didn't even exist. Also, Rick, Carl, Dwight, Maggie, Sadiq, Dante, Andrea, Keith, Laura, and Jesus were still around, while Connie wasn't MIA. See? It's like looking into a mirror. Hey, make sure to like and subscribe to Skybound. And while you're all in quarantine, make sure to check out the Talk Dead to Me podcast. It's our official Skybound Walking Dead podcast. We talk about the TV shows, upcoming movies, video games, the whole kit and or caboodle. I'm Woody Tondorf. You can't see this, but I'm wearing a full-on hazmat suit, and we'll see you next time.